Hey guys, here's a quick little comparison. I don't know if you remember Grimm from Spirit of Halloween. I believe I bought this one back in like maybe 2018, and you can see the side by side comparison between him and Ultra Skelly. So obviously, Ultra Skelly is bigger. You can see there he's bigger, and on the body types and style, it's basically designed similar. They have very similar characteristics, the legs, the posing and stuff, the same arm moves. But Ultra Scaly is basically a lot more beefier than Grim. The plastic that they use and stuff on Ultra Scaly is so much stronger, it feels like, thicker than the plastic of Grim. So when Ultra Skelly first came out, I thought it was basically just the copy of Grimm. And to my amazement, once I did put them side by side, I did realize that they weren't even close. Ultra Skelly is made a lot better. Some of the differences, obviously, the servo eyes of Grimm versus the LED eyes of Ultra Skelly. And the Ultra Skelly eyes, it did grow on me because I've always liked the servo eyes, but I think the LED eyes do work for Ultra Skelly, so not disappointed there. The sensor for motion is on Ultra Skelly's front rib cage, whereas Grimm's motion sensor, and you see I had a cutout in his pants, a little spot for it, is on his hip. So that's a difference there. Grimm basically had only his eyes light up. I added some LED lights in his mouth and in his chest. They're not super bright, definitely not even close to being as bright as Ultra Skelly. But mine, the ones I added, work with the volume of his voice. So as his voice talks, they kind of pulsate to the voice, where Ultra Skelly's just kind of either flashes or lights up or strobes. So there's a difference there. The stands, Ultra Skelly's stand is beefier, even though Grimm's stand is a little wider. So there's a little difference on the stands. Not too much. The arms, like I said, they're both the same right arm that lifts up and down. Grimm's arm is way quieter than Ultra Skelly's. But the fact of the matter is, Grimm's arm is a lot lighter. So this plastic here is super light versus Ultra Skelly's, which actually has some weight to it. So I believe what they did was put a stronger motor in not a servo into Ultra Skelly, just because it's got to lift the weight of the arm up and down. And of course, everybody likes to put stuff that he's holding in his hand. So I think the motor is going to pan out better than if they used the servo like they did in Grimm, even though Grimm's is super quiet. I don't think the servo would have been as strong or been a good choice to throw in Ultra Skelly. Other than that, like I said, they're pretty similar. But once again, the beefiness, the quality and stuff, I got to admit, has to go to Ultra Skelly. Now, I know people have had issues with Ultra Skelly, but I think a lot of that is due to the assembly process and some wiring and stuff that doesn't get connected right or whatever. But Ultra Skelly seems pretty solid. I didn't have any issues like some of these people had with the different lights and voice not working and the connectability. Mine seemed to all work from the get-go. So, but yeah, so I just figured you can see this because once again, when I first bought this thing, I was thinking it was just Grimm with LED eyes, but I was far off on that. And obviously, the Ultra Skelly, you have the posable hands versus Grimm's non-posable hands. I mean, you could tape stuff to his hands, but it's not really going to probably look that good if his hands are pretty much open. They have the same posable clickness in the elbows, so that's pretty much similar. But other than that, I don't know. I definitely would choose Ultra Skelly over Grimm now that I did the side-by-side comparison, I got to see him working and stuff. So Grimm, yeah, it was, I guess, a little dated, but like I said, I've had him for since probably about 2018, and he's held up well. He was making a clicking noise, but I had to do some repairs on him, and it seems like I got the clicking noise out of him. So if you have any questions, leave them in a comment, but I just figured if you wanted to see the two side-by-sides, the difference between the two. Oh, and before I forget, so the only thing that really works better, I think, for Grimm is that they put a front-firing speaker, if you can see that there, with the holes facing out in Grimm. Ultra Skelly, his speaker is in his chest, and I don't know if I can get a good shot of it. Well, it's here, but the holes backfire, so I'm assuming that speaker is shooting backwards, so that could have a definite problem with some of the sound quality too, that it's backfiring versus Grimm, which fires forward. I do know the clarity on Grimm, once again, is pretty good. He goes loud. But Ultra Skelly technically goes loud, well, loud enough anyways, with the pre-programmed speech in there. And then when you go and try to make your recordings, that's where it sounds kind of a little iffy. But either way, between the two, Ultra Skelly pretty much has it over Grimm. But just so you could see the differences on the two, like I said, any questions, concerns, leave them in the comments. Thanks, bye.